Hi, Glenn Phillips here with Lake Homes Realty and lakehomes.com. Today I want to talk to you about how can a lake-focused real estate agent protect a home buyer. And then by that protect, I mean genuinely protect their interest in the transaction and why they need to be lake-focused. I got 6 reasons I want to tell you that you would want to consider a lake-focused real estate agent if you're considering buying a lake home. Now, sure, you've got friends and family. We all have friends and family with a real estate license. But there's some nuances at the lake that you want to do a smart investment, not just a transaction. So here's the first one. Water is not all equal. You say, oh, I want to buy a lake home at on a certain lake. Well, the water around that lake has different aspects to it. It may be in a high boat traffic area. It may be in a slough that in the off-season is dry. It may be deep water, but it may be a steep lot that affects the property boundary different. There are all these things about where the water is around that lake impacts the price. You can have the same identical house with the same size lot on 2 different places of the lake, and the prices will be drastically different. When you go out and see the lake, you may not understand what's going on with the water there, but a lake-focused real estate agent is going to know many of those nuances. Do they understand leased lots? Now, not every lake has leased lots, but it's a really common thing, and people go, well, why would I buy a house on a leased lot? That doesn't make sense. Think about it for a second, though. Most of these lakes are controlled by power companies and the Corps of Engineers, Tennessee Valley Authority. There's some entity that sort of owns and operates the lake. And to have control over that property, maybe they need to make changes. They don't always sell that property. They lease the lot for multiple years. Some of them go as much as 100 years, some of them are 20 and 30-year leases, but the leased lot, understanding that is very normal for lake property, but you need to understand that when you're looking at these properties, and a lake-focused real estate agent can help you understand how the lease transfer takes place when you buy the house. Very normal, and people can get a little freaked out about those things, but very common, and a good agent can walk you through those processes. The financing is very different. Now, a real estate agent shouldn't necessarily just be saying, oh, here's the one lender you need to use, but particularly if there's a leased lot. Not all national lenders understand the transactions the way they work at the lake, but a good agent there can point you to different vendors, suppliers who understand if we're going to get a mortgage, then they understand what we're doing at the lake and can make that transaction go smoother and may even be able to finance that. Now, you may not need that financing. Over half our transactions across the country are cash, but a good agent who's lake-focused can help connect you with the right folks, including local lenders who may have these are just automatic. They go, these are not hard. Another reason for a lake-focused agent when you're buying is what may be to you as a buyer, unexpected regulations. The shoreline on many of these lakes is controlled with rules. You may or may not can put a dock. You may or may not can tear down a boathouse and rebuild it. It may be grandfathered. There may be rules about the vegetation. You go, oh, I'm going to clear all this out, buy the house and find out, oh, you actually can't clear all those trees out or all that brush off. There may be protected things. They may be filmed. So, there are rules and regulations about that, what kind of boat can be used on the lake. A lake-focused real estate agent can answer all those questions so you don't get a surprise after the fact that a non-lake agent may not even know to ask the question. Another way to protect you as a home buyer at the lake is lake-induced price variables. What do I mean by that? It goes back to what I mentioned earlier about water is not all equal. So where you are on the lake, about the seasonality of the water, where you are on the lake related to community aspects. Do you have a common marina or not? Do you have access to boat storage or not? These may be extras. So this is going to impact the price of 2 homes that may be identical, but between water and amenities for that community or neighborhood will be wildly different. Once again, someone that's a real estate agent who's not versed in asking and knowing about these things could leave you a little bit exposed. The last thing that the lake home focused agent is going to know to protect a buyer is that this is a different type of seller at the lake. Many people who are selling their primary residence in the suburbs or downtown have some kind of clock. Their job's moving them. They got to get that sold. They've had a health change and they need a different type of house now. Oh, they're having a baby. They need a bigger place soon. At the lake, many of the people who purchased it because it's a discretionary property, and many times they didn't have to buy it, and now they don't have to sell it. Now that doesn't mean they're going to get some crazy pie in the sky price, but it means they may not have the same sense of urgency when you make an offer that you may not have quite as much leverage if you don't understand where they are in their selling process of these properties. In fact, as a rule, lake property, even except for a few spikes where it was crazy, frenzied hot, tends to have a seller who is more patient and they understand that the buyers may take their time in picking a house, and that the dream buyer they want may be some states away. And so they will okay with that home being on the market a little longer than they might be somewhere else. So all these are things that a lake experienced agent will know and can guide you as a buyer and help protect your interests so you don't get in a deal and get a bunch of surprises that could even affect your bottom line when you buy the house or as you own the house. We naturally have lake-focused agents that you can find at lakehomes.com. These are lake experts in their local market, and these local markets are different. One agent may understand one, a different agent understands the differences at the next. There are plenty of other great agents we work with across the country, but there is an advantage of getting the expert when you're buying a specialized property. Be sure if you're thinking about buying a lake home to visit at lakehomes.com. We have tens of thousands of lake homes and lots available for sale right now, and you can just go take a look as well as find an agent who can guide you through the process. I hope this has been helpful. Have a great day. For more information, be sure to check out lakehomes.com.